Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is a review, spoiler free. The spoiler review is going to be in the pinned comment down below on our Patreon, or if you want to join the YouTube members only, just click join. But this is a spoiler free Thunderbolts * movie review.
Thunderbolts and lightning, David Harbour saves it. Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts, MCU, is it back? We don't know.
Bob? Senor Bob?
Thunderbolts. This is a movie that originally when we saw the trailer for it, we both thought it looked like dog poop. We were like, we're not going to be into this at all. MCU is another dirty tampon that no one wants to take out and refresh.
I hate those.
But after seeing
that's what you use to clean your teeth, right?
Yes, that's called floss in the Middle East. It's called flossing. But no, yeah, I after seeing a few trailers after that, I was like, you know what, it might be good. I was hearing some rumblings from screeners that were coming out, and I was like, you know what, they're saying it sounds pretty decent, so I was going to give it a chance. And Mike said, okay, we'll go see what it's all about, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought overall it diverted from the Marvel formula, which was good. It was good. That was what was needed. I think that it captured its own special place in the Marvel universe, and it did a good job doing that. This movie deals with a lot of things. Actually, it's not just on the it's not a bunch of special effects and explosions and Captain America go like, hey, so you got the tension, like stupid stuff like that. There's a part in this movie I got teared up. I'm not gonna lie, I
cried twice.
Yeah, I got teared up because it does deal with like loss, trauma, and depression, and it handles it really, really well. And I think that the standout star in the movie is David Harbour. I think he's great. I thought he was going to be the worst. I thought he was going to be actually the worst part of the movie, Red Guardian, but he's really good. Second, surprising, Florence Pugh. She's really good. What I like about her is she's smoking hot. Wow.
By the way, she's named after a girl's fart.
Yeah,
because they go Pew.
Yeah, that's called a queef. But no, yeah, she's smoking hot. But beyond that, she's actually a really good actress, and she actually does do her role justice. And I like the fact that
queef is what they call waffles in France, just in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, it's a French waffle, obviously.
Yeah,
it's got.
Sorry, there's some people that aren't learned.
I know you have to be learned in the world of things, especially French bread, French toast.
Did you know the film Sinners was about black people?
I didn't know that at all. All I saw was great acting and performance. I don't even see color.
Some
That's
people
weird.
just don't know.
And she has a good balance between caring and being that nurturing type of person, and then also being a badass on top of it, which works very well in tandem. And I think it's great. It's kind of reminded me a little bit. She's not the same actress level. I'm not saying that, but she kind of reminded me of something like an Ellen Ripley. Like Ellen Ripley was awesome, and she was badass when she needed to be, but she was also caring and understanding too as well. I think that's missing in a lot of female led movies and superhero films. But overall, dude, The Void, Sentry, gotta have a little bit more. But that fight sequence with him in the Avengers Tower, whoa now, get out of here, loving it.
And the after effects of it too, which I mean, you see some of it in the trailer when things go bad. That looks so cool. That was like one of the coolest looking Marvel villain. And you know what? Marvel for a long time, I think we forgot about this because Marvel's had so many other issues, but Marvel for a long time had a villain problem. And you're right. Like when you have a character like that, you're watching what this character does, and you're like, this could be a 3-movie arc. I mean, he's that cool. He's that neat. So in that respect, it's like maybe they did wrap it up a little too soon, but he was awesome.
Well, that fight sequence was way shorter than I would have liked it to have been. It was so cool. I mean, dude, it was cool. But yeah, and then Wyatt Russell, I feel like is a guy that's still trying to find his way as an actor. Like he just does come off as like still green in a lot of ways. It's so funny though when he does nail it, he sounds exactly like Kurt Russell. Yeah, exactly like him. Like he's like, give me the katana. And like when he was like there, I was like, that sounds just like Kurt Russell. But there's moments where he stands out. But then there's other times where like, yeah, that line didn't deliver that well. Like it just came off. It might have been the writing, but and then Sebastian Stan, he's a one note. I mean, I'm sorry, I know people love him, but dude, he's the same Winter Soldier he's always been.
Now, see, Sebastian Stan, like I'm not a fan of him that much as an actor. Like, I'm really just not. Like, it's nothing against him or anything. I don't. Sebastian Stan doesn't get me all feeling like, oh yeah, I got to go see that one. But like in this movie, I actually appreciated more than I have in a long time because it felt like Bucky literally from the Winter Soldier. Now, I didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I don't like it when they give us side scraps and tell us to treat it like a full meal.
Yeah.
But so I didn't really care enough to watch that, but I really like the Falcon character from the Winter Soldier. It always feels like when they put him in the Avengers and stuff, he's just kind of an extra and there. But this felt like when he came on screen, I was like, that was the perfect time for that. And he had some good moments in it. Dude, by the way, the guy who played Sentry,
I don't
Louis
know
Pullman.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Like, by the
really
way,
good.
That's the kid who gets killed in the pool in Strangers Pray at Night. Same dude. A lot of people don't realize that, but dude, he was so good. Like, he had like almost a Keanu-ish about him in a way. Don't expect all that much, but like as far as the emotional stuff and the dark stuff and all that, and like he had a lot of lines, a lot of monologue in this movie. And I just thought his relationship, obviously with Florence Pugh, I thought she was great as well. But Yelena's whole story, this movie actually had writing, dude. Like, it had actual emotional stuff that like mattered in it. And I haven't seen that in a Marvel film. I mean, you see it in Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Interwoven with all the stuff. And we both gave that a 10. We both loved it. But as far as typical Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine don't really even count because that was like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's in there all thing. But this, as a Marvel movie, dude, I'm shocked at how much it just felt like a movie. Like, it just felt like I was watching a cool movie that had stakes and mattered.
I think a lot of people would ask, well, how close was it to like something like Suicide Squad? There's elements of it that are Suicide Squad-ish, but it's not that violent. It's not all the way there. I feel like this is a Diet Coke mix of like something like Guardians of the Galaxy with Suicide Squad. It kind of feels like a little bit like that. And there, you're right though. They do focus a lot on character development, which is a good thing. And I think the reason why the writing was better in this particular movie is because the stakes aren't as high. Maybe Marvel went into it thinking, hey, you know what? We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna hire a writer that actually wants to do this project and see what they do. Maybe we'll leave them alone and let them do it. And I feel like I think they got a good movie, dude. This is a solid movie. This is a really good movie, actually.
Yeah,
it's not like. It's not in-game level, but it's still good.
I feel like this got greenlit. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like this got greenlit back when Marvel was just greenlighting everything that made sure they didn't have to use any of their main characters. So that like whatever they could just like edge you with like, oh, Shang-Chi, like whatever non-main characters they could edge you with for so long. I feel like they greenlit this back then, and it probably would have been pushed aside at some point, if for not how good they must have known the script was, because the script's actually good. And it actually, in a weird way, it just kind of, dude, this is the exact kind of movie people were asking Marvel to make when they were giving us Eternals horse shit. Like, it's actually a movie where you care about the characters on screen. I don't really give a fuck that much about what's going on off the screen with, with some crazy third tier character doing this over here. Like, this was fun for these characters.
What I like the best about these guys are, and they even show, like, I think, they're B-list Avengers. They're the JV squad. They're the people, they're the losers that nobody wants. They're the leftover bunch. And it shines through in the way that they eventually do come together, and they recognize those faults in each other, and they actually become a team that, like, they never did this in the Avengers movie, but in the comic books, in the original Avengers comic books, starting with Avengers #1, at some point later on, after Captain America was revived in the 4th issue of Avengers, which is like 1960s or whatever, I'd say 63 or 64, I can't remember. At some point later on, the core members left, like Iron Man left, the Wasp, Giant Man, all those guys left, the big powerful ones, and then it was up to Captain America to recruit the new Avengers. And who they are basically is it was Hawkeye, Wanda Maximoff, Quicksilver, and one other person, and they were all like reformed villains, because Hawkeye was a villain in the comic books, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were villains, and they weren't exactly like the powerful Avengers. They were more like street level kind of abilities. I mean, not that they weren't powerful, but they weren't like Thor or like Iron Man with all of his technology. This is what that felt. This actually felt like the actual iteration of Avengers you wanted to see after Iron Man left and all the other stuff happened. Like, this is the Avengers,
dude. If this, good God, that's a really good point. Because you imagine if this was the first movie after Endgame, we're fucking there, dude.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
this is
holy shit.
That's what when I was thinking about because that's what I thought they were gonna do. Because when Captain America was in charge of leading the Avengers after Iron Man and all the founders left, and the Hulk, by the way, was a founder as well. He had to put together all these two teams, and they weren't, again, their power levels weren't even close to the original Avengers, so they had to work harder and be smarter when they fought. And this is when I saw this movie and the way that they all interacted, and they came together and they were like being cheered. I was like, dude, that's it. That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, to this movie, I'm gonna give it 8.5. To be honest with you, it's gonna be 8.5. And it's been a long time since I've said anything positive about Marvel, like, and how they've done their movies. But this was dead on good. It kind of scares me though, because this movie is so successful. Well, in my opinion, it's not doing amazingly at the box office, I guess. But I feel like this is a project that Marvel has done that's one of the first in a long time that they've done where it's actually a good movie. I'm kind of nervous now if it gets popularity that they're going to come in with shitty writers and they're going to turn this thing into a cartoon plastic thing like every other project they've done up to this point. Because this movie, by the way, and I know it sounds corny and I understand, this movie does have heart. That's the one thing it does have. It actually has like something about it that's really charming and heartfelt. And it's got cool scenes too.
There's this thing going around the internet now where people are calling the movie like a 2-hour therapy session and talking about how dark it is. And I think that has been. It's been
so was Joker, and people love that.
No, they're saying it in a good way. Like
okay.
It's awesome because of that. And like I think that's a little bit of hyperbole. There's a lot of therapy-esque stuff. There's a lot of mental health stuff, like what the characters are going through. When you realize the story of the century, though, it really ties that all together, and it makes so much sense. Hella hush.
See, that was the century when he loses control.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
nothing matters.
It makes sense. I think people are overdoing that, and I think people are going in and expecting like some like crazy, like wethead crazy stuff. Like it was emotional and it had a lot of emotion. Again, it made me cry like a couple times. Yeah. But that's not like the whole point of the movie either. All the other stuff's there. I went to this movie, you laughed, you cried, you hurled, as Wayne's World used to say. And I just think that's what when I was sitting there watching the movie, the main thing I'll say about it is that I didn't feel like I was watching a movie try to be a certain type of movie. Yeah, it all just kind of unfolded naturally, and all the comedy and all the action and all the character introductions and all that stuff, it just felt like it was just very, very natural. And I'm not watching a movie try to be funny, or I'm not watching a movie try to be emotional. It just was, and I really appreciate that. You don't get that a lot these days.
Yeah, I did notice while I was watching it, I never got bored. I was actually interested in the everything that was happening one after the other. The way the pacing on this movie was, I think, was very good. Like it never got you to a boring part necessarily. Sometimes, the acting wasn't great, and sometimes the story kind of dipped a little bit, but overall, like I never got bored, and I was like always interested in what was going to happen next. And when it was over, I'm like, damn, that was it, because I thought there was going to be more. It just goes by so quick because it's done so well. But yeah, Bob Reynolds, or the Century Void, whichever way you want to call him, his story, like I remember the comic book coming out, and I remember reading it, and he has a very interesting psychotic character. I mean, that's what he is. He's a Superman gone psycho. That's what he is. And it's such a good idea.
It's Brightburn.
Yeah, that's essentially what he is. He could become Brightburn if they just left him to his own devices. But they do such a good job with handling. There's one scene, I think the scene that got me emotionally or whatever, that was like, holy fuck. I was like, what's this? Men don't cry. Who's chopped onions on Ninja? Was when and I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a pivotal moment in the movie toward the end where he's fighting back against the Void, Bob Reynolds, and it's all based around, well, I can't say that, but it's all based around trauma, depression, loneliness, like, so I mean, shit that people go through, like, and then him realizing he's not alone. That's I mean, it was good, dude. That was a really cool moment in the movie. And like, again, they should tackle shit like that more often.
Yeah. And again, it's going to be hard to make a good follow-up to this if they do. I don't know if there's any plans for that. They're probably just going to tie him to the Avengers or whatever, but like it would be hard to redo this movie because like that villain, literally what he was made of and what she was going through when she came into the movie and the dad stuff, it all just works so well. And what I meant before when I said it doesn't feel like it's trying to be anything, I kind of mean like the Suicide Squad movies or the Guardians of the Galaxy, not Guardians of the Galaxy so much because that was just That was way more natural. But like the original Suicide Squad movie, not James Gunn one, but the one before that.
Yeah.
When they were like, it was like, oh, these guys, they're villains, and like they're just the cool, weird villains who like nobody wanted. Like they just kind of did that, and like, oh, they're in prison, they're badass, like whatever. In this, it was like these people specifically feel alone for these specific reasons. They feel they have no self-worth, and they go through this thing together, and they naturally become a team this way. And I thought like that's something even James Gunn's Suicide Squad didn't do as well as this movie did.
Well, yeah, because this movie, I think, unlike the Suicide Squad, like they were still trying to be cool and badass. Yeah. Like, look at these shoes, dog. Like they were like trying to like pose and shit and flex. This movie, like in Thunderbolts, the characters know they're losers. They understand that they're losers, and nobody really wants them, and they're just trying
vulnerable as fuck.
Yeah, and they're fallen heroes. They're not good. Nobody wants them. Everyone thinks they're jokes, and they're not trying to look cool or be badass. They're just trying to like maybe redeem themselves and live it. So they embrace their flaws in a lot better of a way than the original Suicide Squad ever did. And I talked a little poop on Wyatt Russell, which again, I think Wyatt Russell, he's going to be a good actor. I think he just needs a couple more movies under his belt. And
Night Swim was an Oscar-winning performance. I don't know what you're talking about.
What you say? I think that he's going to be a good actor eventually. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's an okay actor. But I think that there's something about what happens with his family, and you're like, look.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, you could totally get that. Like you get like that bravado, and you understand why somebody acts the way they do, and then he acts like and there's one scene when Florence Pugh looks at him after it's revealed what's really going on with his family, and he's like, "Man, I got called out, dog. What you want?" Like I don't know, like, but you could feel that, like when we've all been there. You lie about something, and then when it comes out, you're like, "Yeah, it really is like this."
I never lied, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut your fucking mouth, you lying whore.
Only when I said I liked women.
Yeah, that's true. I know. I've seen him suck a man's wiener. Like crazy. But no, it's
like Kobayashi.
Yeah, crazy. Like he was the Kobe Bryant of dick sucking. I've never seen anything like it. It's got to be the lips. But yeah, at the end of the day, 8.5.
It's an 8 for me, by the way. I'm just below you, but I'm pretty much right there with you as well.
I genuinely think it's a really solid movie. I think people will enjoy it. It's a scrappy underdog film with a heart in the middle, and that's what I wanted. And that's it's definitely not like the comic. Like if people are expecting it to be like the Thunderbolts comic book, it's not like that at all. Like in the Thunderbolts comic book, they're actually like they already know what they're doing. They're the masters of evil posing as superheroes. That's the whole thing, and it's only in order to ruin the Avengers.
Sony would have just told that story.
Well, I mean that story. If they had actually done that story, where because in the comic books, eventually Thunderbolts is run by Norman Osborn, and they actually do become evil. But they have like a persona of good, but they're behind the scenes are like assholes, like
that's
celebrities.
Sony's like, we only want bad guys, please. Yeah, that's all we want.
Yeah, they're like celebrities that treat the craft table people like shit.
By the way, you know what it felt like? One more thing I will mention: it felt grounded in the same way Winter Soldier did. Like it doesn't have that much political drama; it's got some, but it had a Winter Soldier. It's like if Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy came together in a way, that kind of be this movie. I feel like it felt grounded, and I really enjoyed that. It made when like the scary stuff was going on be actually kind of believable. And I felt like that could happen.
I could honestly, dude, I don't think it'll ever happen, but I could honestly see Deadpool dropping in and being on this team.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking hilarious.
100%.
I would love that. I would love that so much in my little heart. And we would love for you guys to check out YouTube membership and Patreon so you can watch the spoiler review. We're about to go film right now. We're going to get it all side of it with our chicken giblets. You don't even know.
Chicken dinner, bitch. Yeah.
Chicken turkey. We love you all's fucking faces. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
We're live Tuesday night, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Come see us. Come see us. Come say hello.
I'll make new room for you to join. Yes?
Yes.
See you in a moment.
Okay.
Yes.